Well, hello there, hello there, hello there. Welcome back. It's your girl, Sean LeRae, and welcome back to Boss Talk. That's bold, one of a kind, sensational superstars, and that is each and every one of you. And so I am so happy to see you back out there on this fine Wednesday. And y'all know that Wednesday is hump day, and I like to know what you guys are doing that's going to help you get through to the weekend, because here at Boss Talk, we are living for the weekend. So go ahead and put in the chat what you're doing that's going to help you make it through the rest of this week to the weekend. The weekends are my favorite things because they're exciting. You can explore different things, you can try new things in life. And so one of the things that I like to do during the week is think about what exciting adventure I can do at the weekend. I always like to try new and different things. In that way, life doesn't get boring. And as you all know, I'm a newlywed. So I have someone to try new things with. And so we are always trying to find exciting things to do. As you well know, on our honeymoon, we did a lot of water sports. We went parasailing, we went undersea walking, and we went jet flying, which was amazing. Little bit difficult, rough on the feet because the board is not smooth and lovely, but it was still really fun and exciting and new and different. So what are you all out there doing that's new and different to keep the pizzazz going in your life? Whether it's your relationship life or your individual take care of yourself life, it's always important to keep the pizzazz alive in that thing, right? So it is September. It is fall over here. And I actually, though I love the warm weather, I am excited for fall. And it's kind of really unfair that I say that living in California because it's 85 degrees today, but don't y'all hate. And I do want to shout out and send some prayers and love to my folks in Georgia. I know there's a hurricane over there. So shout out to friends, family, and strangers who are in Georgia. Stay safe. Keep yourself battened down. And to my sorors, and stay safe, y'all. So who's out there? Say something to me. Talk to me. Let me know who you are and where you are and what's going on. So as you know, I always like to bring you new, exciting, and fun guests. And so my guest this week is fun and talented and brilliant and all those things. And I got to tell you, I always meet people in the funniest ways. So when I bring him on, I will talk about how we met. But I want to tell you right now a little bit about him. His name is J. Blake White. And J. Blake White is a Memphis native now living in Los Angeles, and he is a multifaceted creative professional excelling in various realms of entertainment. With credits spanning television, web series, and musical theater, he has left an indelible mark on the industry. From his appearances on popular shows like American Idol, The Glee Project, to starring roles in web series like The Gospel and Flawed the Musical, J. Blake White's versatility as an actor is evident. Beyond the spotlight, J. Blake White's talents extend to hosting, where he engages audiences both on the camera for Apple's GarageBand app and live events such as the NFL Draft and Super Bowl Experience. Additionally, his expertise in production shines through as an associate producer for various projects, including short films and digital experiences. With each and every role, he showcases his storytelling prowess and dynamic presence, further solidifying his status as a rising star in the entertainment world. Now, grounded in his education with a bachelor's in marketing management and cinema TV production, J. Blake White's journey is a testament to his passion and dedication. As he continues to evolve and pursue new endeavors, his trajectory promises even greater heights in the ever evolving landscape of entertainment. So, y'all, without another word from me, please welcome to Boss Talk, J. Blake White.
Hey, hey, hey
Hey, hey,
there.
how
This
you
is
doing?
awesome. I'm good. I'm good. You read that so wonderfully. I was like, they talking about me? This is great. I was like, this is awesome. No, no,
Check
no.
me out, right? I love it.
Check
I
me
love
out.
it.
No, it's great.
I love it. Well, listen, it is so, so great to have you on
It's
tonight.
great to
Thank
be
you.
here. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So as I was saying, it's always, I always have funny stories about how I meet people. So let's talk about how we met.
Yes.
So I actually think I know the date, and which is weird because I just sometimes remember things like that. I believe it was September 8th. Now you can tell me if that's correct because when was
Yes. September 8th, because
okay,
the night of hope was September 7th. So it was
okay.
definitely a Sunday evening. Yep.
Now I know that for several reasons. It was my cousin's birthday,
Okay.
September 8th, and we went to the movies to see The Forge.
Oh, yes. Yep.
And
We
we
were
went,
all in the forge. Yep.
yes. And so coming out, I went to the ladies' room, and because as my mother used to say as a kid, she'd talk to a doorknob if the doorknob would talk back. I saw your sister at the wash basin. We were washing our hands, and I said, "Wasn't that awesome?" And she said, "Oh my gosh!" And we just started talking about it. And we came out, and I asked her where she worshipped, and she said, "Well, actually, I live in Memphis." And I said, "Oh wow, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
And then she said, "I'm here for my brother's screening of my brother's short film and concert." And then we walked out together, and you walked up, and now this whole thing
Hey.
started. Yes,
That's how, yes, that's how it started. And you are incredibly full of a light and and an energy. And I just believe like God is definitely shining through you. So I'm thankful that we did meet you that evening because I mean, listen, it was such a powerful night. And I think when you watch a film like The Forge, your spirit is just open. So to
yes,
encounter beautiful people right after,
yes,
that was very nourishing, you know.
yes.
So
Oh, yeah,
so thank you. So thank
absolutely.
you for saying hello. And now we're connected. Now I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
something. If we connect, you're gonna have a hard time getting rid of me in the future. Cause it's
Well,
like it becomes a family thing.
that's right. That's what I'm saying. And we just discovered that we don't live far at all. So
Right,
you're definitely a
right.
part of the fam.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I love it. Now, so tell me, what did you find? I mean, I don't know, Boss Talkers, if you have yet seen The Forge. If you have not, run to the theater, especially believers, because it is such an uplifting movie, and it's so lifelike and warm, and it has so much in it. It's so rich. Did
Hmm.
you, what was one of your favorite things about the movie?
Oh my gosh. I really really love how they depicted mentorship and
Mm,
manhood and
mhm,
the realities of coming to your faith on your own and through the lens of just community. Like I loved
mm,
all of
yeah.
that. That's really what stuck out to me. My sister and I, we grew up in a single parent home, so we
Mm,
had to have, in addition to my mother raising us, and our father, who was a preacher and a pastor, but I was born in Indiana, so we
oh,
always lived 10 hours away from where we were actually born, and we were raised down south with our
mhm,
mother. And so it truly does take a village. And so it
right.
was so cool to see how they depicted that, and how, another man, really just took on the reins of mentorship to affect his life. And like, that was a true testament for me. And so it
Yeah.
really hit home. Yeah, it really hit home for sure.
Yes, I love that, and all I could think about was, as you know, I mentioned I'm a therapist, and in my practice for a long time, we were girl power operation. We were powered
Mm,
women. And I toyed for a long time with leaving it that way because that's I am woman, hear me roar, and the empowerment of women and being able to affect change in the lives of young women who have decided to take on this work,
yeah.
um, and really, really help them find out what this is all about. And so
Hmm.
for that reason, I thought, well, maybe I will leave it just girls. And then there had been a time that I had been looking for a therapist, and I put something on Black in the Valley, which is a Facebook group. Do you know about
Okay.
it?
I
You
don't
have
know
to,
about
oh,
Black in
you
the
have to
Valley,
find
but
follow it. Black in the
I need
Valley.
to follow it.
Anything you need, you can find on there. Just have to type it in. Somebody will tell you where to go.
Nice.
And I had gotten many clients because people were referring people to me on Black in the Valley before I
Oh,
even
I
knew what it
love
was.
that. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So I put on there looking for Black therapists, period.
Mhm.
And I got a couple of things, but I got a few times people kept mentioning this man to me. And I was like, well, how do I find this man? And then I guess he got wind of it. So he DM'd me or whatever you call it on Facebook. And he said, private message or whatever. And he said, I'm still in school. He goes, I know these people are referring me, but I'm still in school. I'm not graduated yet. And I said, well, listen, when you graduate, if you're looking for a spot, reach out. So here this
Yeah.
April, March, he reached out and he's been working in the office since April. Now I said
Nice.
that to say he's the first male because I started getting young men, Black men,
Hmm.
other men of color, young from elementary, junior high, high school, who needed that
Yes.
solid male
Yes.
power and energy in
Absolutely.
their lives. And
Yeah.
it was such a gift and such a blessing to be able to bring him in. He fits in so well. He is definitely the male in the building. But his presence is he's made it very well known, and he is making such a difference in these young folks. And
That's
so
awesome.
I just love that. Hey, I see someone that you met. We're here. That's my husband.
Hey, yay! How you doing, Mr. Sills? I asked about you earlier. It's good to see you back. Good to
Yes,
see you here.
yes, indeed. Thanks for tuning in, baby. So yes, I love what you said about that because that is something that we don't see quite enough of. And
Yeah, yeah.
so I love the idea of the forge. I want to encourage men that I know
Everyone.
to start a forge in your neighborhood and in your area. And again, if you have not seen that movie, please go and see it. It should be at the top of the list of feel good movies for the season.
Oh yeah, the acting, the
Hmm.
cinematography, it was holistically what you would want to see from a faith-based film. Like
Yeah,
seriously. So I was truly, truly, truly blessed by watching it and entertained as well. Like the acting was just superb and
yeah, it
it
really
was just
was.
great. It was great and the messages just drove home. It didn't
Hmm.
feel it didn't feel too preachy. It didn't feel any of that. It was just fantastic. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
fantastic movie, The Forge, and yeah, I could feel it. I could feel her angst, and the little old lady who was the prayer warrior.
Oh yeah.
I fell
She
so in love with her.
Mama Floor, right? Is that her name? Or
Yeah, I
she
think so.
returned back from her movie.
Yes, yes,
That was
and
awesome.
it's funny because how many of us know her? Really,
Right.
in your
Right.
family, in your church, we know her. That's what was so
Hmm.
beautiful.
So true.
Yes.
So,
Well,
so, so
so
true.
I want to ask, what got you started? In what area did you start recognizing your creativity, and when, maybe?
Oh my gosh. Well, I would say my area of creativity, the roots are uh deeply, deeply, deeply rooted in music. And so
Mm,
I began singing at the age of 4. I didn't start singing professionally until I was around the age 17, 18. And I really, really, really am super blessed for my journey getting started in music. I was leading worship at a young age too under I don't know if you know Bishop G. Patterson, but I grew up in his church and was groomed to lead worship with his young adults, youth and young adult department there. So I was leading and serving always then, but then I started, fresh out of high school, going for different competitions, and one of those competitions was American Idol. And so as a vocalist, you can't do anything but learn and grow after doing a competition like that. So that's exactly what I did, I set sail to kind of develop my musical gifts as a songwriter, as a singer, as a background vocalist for many gospel artists that you know today, and pop artists that you know today. And so I just, yeah, that's just been the climb over the last, I'd say 15 years.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
tell me about, this background vocals because I have a dear friend who sings background, and
Okay.
she started out with her own with a band, and,
Okay.
they were called Harmony,
Okay.
and she started out doing that, and she was, of course, the lead singer of that, and then she got her first break, as a background singer, actually with Marvin Gaye,
Oh,
and
wonderful.
then she has gone through just with so many different well-known artists. She sang with the Fifth Dimension. She sang. Now she sings with Marilyn McCool and Billy Davis, Joe Cocker, Ray Charles. Just
Hey.
going down the list, you know. And so she has a thing called The Star Behind the Stars, which she is
Okay.
making into a film. Hopefully, it's been a play, a one-woman show, and she has a song titled the same, "The Star Behind the Star." And she talks about how she's always wanted to be out front,
Yeah.
and but she is still a star as she shines brightly from behind. The lyrics are
Yeah.
stunning. It's beautiful. And so tell
Beautiful.
me, so who are some of the artists that you sang background for?
Oh my gosh, I have sang background for Donald Lawrence, the Clark sisters.
Ah,
Yeah, Donald Lawrence, the Clark sisters, Dr. Judas McAllister. I've sang background for, oh wow, Anthony Brown, Group Therapy.
uh-huh.
Um, Yeah, who else? Oh my God, that roster kind of goes on and on and on, and it goes based off of, hey, they're a part of, something locally that's done in the community, or I'm blessed to do something national with them, right?
Right,
On like a
right.
national scale, serving the Church of God in Christ or whatever that looks like. But yeah, I've sang behind a few like Beverly Crawford and
Hmm.
Shirley Caesar
Oh,
and
come on now.
so yeah,
Yeah, take me
so many
home.
of these greats. Yeah,
Wow.
so many of these greats. And so it's like the gospel list kind of goes on and on and on. And I love that community. I love the community because I'm in it as well, like as an artist. I'm in the gospel
Right.
community as well. So yeah, so gospel, and then there's pop, there's Miss Alicia Keys, who I most
Oh, come
recently
on.
sang background for, and there's a group called Tones and I. They have some placement on the pop charts as well. She's over in Australia, but now she's here. She's kind of back
Right.
and forth. But Tones and I've sang background for. We did some work for the Super Bowl, and it was the chain smokers. And so yeah, so I
Oh,
got a chance to sing
okay.
with them. Yeah, so
Amazing.
the resume is building, church.
Building
It's
and building.
building.
I love that. So now tell me, you grew up in born in Indiana, so Midwest, like
Fort
me.
Wayne.
I'm
Yeah.
Toledo, Ohio, right here.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah,
Yes.
Midwestern roots. And then
Mhm.
you went on to Memphis, and that's where you were
Yes.
kind of raised. Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I see that you call that Mid South.
Yes. The Mid
Okay.
South.
So growing up Mid South and then
Hmm.
coming to California 10 years ago, right? Is that
Yeah.
right? To LA 10
Hmm.
years ago. Tell me about the culture shock. What was that like for you?
Well, I tell you what, it was really, 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 my journey was tailor made, special to me.
I love that.
I moved out here. Yeah, like I said, I had auditioned for the show American Idol, came here while I was in my undergrad to, to film the show in what they call Hollywood, but it was really in Pasadena. And so we're out here, we're filming that show. And I kept telling my mom over and over and over, I said, Mom, I really want to go back to California. It was, it seems like it's a land of opportunity. She said, Well, you can do whatever you want after you graduate. And I still had 2, 3 more years left in my program. And I was like, Man, I got to find a way. And so, my mom at the time, she was traveling a lot for business. And so she would come out here traveling for work to the LA area. And then she would also travel for church conventions and and so I took every opportunity I could to like tack myself onto her trips, and I would be at acting classes and she would be, here for work or doing the conventions or doing whatever. But,
I love that.
the seed was planted. And so it was kind of like a wish and a hope and a prayer that an opportunity would present itself for me to come out here. But let me tell you
Mhm.
something, Sean. So, Sean, I'm in my last year as a senior at the University of Memphis, and I'm walking across campus, and there's a gentleman who I have not seen to this day. I haven't seen him to this day, but we were friends on campus and everything like that. Great guy. He was awesome, but I would always see him at like Bible studies and stuff on
Uh-huh.
campus. And so he he invited me to this national student exchange meeting, and he said, have you ever thought about doing the NSE? And I was like, what's the NSE? And he was like, well, the national student exchange is, you don't really go out of the country, you go to universities in the US that are affiliated with the program, and you can go and study. And I was like, well, I mean, sure, I'm in between classes right now, I got a little bit of a break, I'll go to the meeting and see what it's all about. I went to the meeting, and he was sure enough right. The NSE program, it allowed me to, you list your top six schools, and at the time our father was sick, and so I listed schools. I listed my top two. It was either LA or New York, and I put Cal State Northridge as my first one. And so I chose Cal State Northridge, and then I chose Cal State San Bernardino. I didn't even know where that was. I was just like, I just want to be in the LA area. And then I chose two schools in New York. And then I was like, okay, well, God, if none of these work out, because it's GPA based and it's so many different things, but I started listing all these schools, even back home in the Midwest, in Fort Wayne. I was like, well, maybe I'll go and spend some more time with my father, and
Mhm.
whatever. When I tell you I applied, that application was approved, and I got accepted into the National Student Exchange Program, which allowed me to come here and study cinema, television, production at Cal
Wow.
State Northridge. And so, to answer your question in a nutshell, talk about God's favor. I met students in the program. I stayed on campus. I'm literally up the street from where I went to school. And my parents, they were very familiar with the area because I had been here for 6, 7 months studying. And the way that the program is designed, I had to go back to Memphis to walk, had to go back to Memphis to walk and graduate. But as soon as it was done, I was like, hey guys, I found a full-time job, and I found, yeah, a lot of things had just aligned for me to come
Mhm.
back. And so it really was not, to answer your question, a culture shock, because God had just favored me in the process of being here. And I'm so blessed
Mhm.
because of it. And it's just been a journey. So I still have friends who are here that I've known since undergrad, and we've become like best friends and close friends. And yeah, and then I've met more family.
Preparation.
The preparation,
Preparation that's
exactly,
happening for you
exactly.
all along the way. I love that.
Hmm.
I love that. I love it when a plan comes together.
Yes, I love when a plan comes together, and I love when God lights up the path. Right?
Yes.
He lights up the.
Yes.
It's so encouraging, and so when I look back on it, I'm just super grateful for
Oh,
the
yeah.
experience. Absolutely.
So that, and that also just speaks to like having that you need to be ready. You need to
Hmm.
be prepared. You need to be looking ahead at what it
Hmm.
is that you want. And you have to have an idea of the direction of the journey, and then you just let him light it, like you said, light the way. That is so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Lovely.
you have to be open. I
Mhm.
think we have dreams, we have these desires, but one thing that I've learned, especially over the last 10 years of my journey of being in LA, is like, we pray these prayers, people of faith. I'm a man of faith, and you pray these prayers, but how much are you opening yourself up to how God can provide and what it looks like?
Right.
And that openness should be reflective in your actions. Because if I could have just been like, oh yeah, like, yeah, I'm actually in between class, I'm on, because we were crossing the library half that day, I would have just been like busy about my life, instead of like, hey, I've been looking and open towards opportunities to go back and study, and now like I can keep on track, and I can go and learn something new, and all of
Yeah.
that. And so, like, yeah, that openness to what God is doing too.
I
it,
love that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's really important. Really important. It's a key factor.
it absolutely is. Now, I love that you have this faith base, right? And obviously your faith is a big part of your who you are-ness, as I call it. That's what
Yeah.
your God-given,
Yeah.
living in your God-given, God-driven purpose and your authenticity. So how
Amen.
do you see your faith, um, as how's it helped guide you or guide your decisions even in an industry like the entertainment business that can be challenging to kind of navigate through?
Uh, I would say obviously my personal relationship with the Lord, with Jesus, has definitely affected, like my decision making. It's just kind of been like a compass and a guiding light and just a
Hmm.
constant check-in. But to be honest, Sean, I think it's been all about community too.
Oh, I love that.
Community is really really important, because there's been projects that I've wanted to be a part of, and because of the community of faith too, like you have people like, hey, like, why not consider this instead, or do you know,
Mhm.
or there's, I was talking to you earlier about the passion play, right? That
Mhm.
I'm in, and that, now I've done professional stage plays like Dream Girls and The Color Purple. I've
Oh,
done
yeah.
musicals. Yeah, I've done musicals before. But while you're in between, and especially like trying to support yourself, and not always you can get the contract to be able to go and
Right.
do that. And so, like, I've had people within the faith community say, like, hey, there's this major production happening over there, you should be a part of this passion play, or you should do this that's local to the community, because there's a lot of industry executives, there's a lot of people that are a part of that,
Mhm.
and they're all believers too, and that could be a place of cultivation for your gift while you're in the waiting. And so
Uh-huh.
I was like, absolutely, I need that, so
Yes.
open to that. But I really think it has everything to do with, community has kept me on track, and service. I believe both my mother and my father have were always strong encouragers of being
Mhm.
of service to your community, to the body of
Mhm.
Christ, staying in servitude. And so I think that that's another thing that's kind of helped me in this journey over the last 10 years, is really kind of focusing on opportunities to serve.
I love
And
that.
and how can I use my gifts to, you always, at the end of the day, you want to bring people closer to the Lord, but how can you be in service for any good thing, you
Right.
know
It's good. Yeah.
yeah, so
I love that quote you said, you've got to open yourself up to how God can provide and what people may look like. I love that.
yeah,
And it's like what you put out there returns
yeah,
to you. So you're doing
yes,
good work and you're putting out good energy, and you're representing the faith community in such a way that it's easy to want to pour back into you, for the community to want to pour back into you with those tidbits and those good, your mama ain't here kind of advice and that sort of thing.
yeah,
People looking out for you, which is so
abs-
important as a
it's
young man being
so
out here.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
you said you were raised by a single mom, but your dad was very much in your life as you were growing up. Is that correct?
Raised by a single parent, and he was kind of in and out of the picture. They got divorced
Mhm.
when I was 4.
Okay.
So thankfully I don't remember the tumultuousness of the divorce. I just remember
Mhm.
him, making efforts to come and get my sister and I for the summer. We would spend our summer
Mhm.
breaks in Indiana, and
Mhm.
he would do as much as he could do during that time, but for the most part it was all, on my mom to make sure
Mhm.
that we were exposed to,
Right.
opportunities like, different
Mhm.
universities, and exposed to different things that just broaden our horizons. Because I'll tell you this too, Memphis, although it's a great city of culture, is also really, 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 really huge on the crime spectrum. And it has
Oh,
always been like that. And so when my mom moved to the
mhm.
city, it was great and thriving. And I believe now, like, they've started to shift a little bit. I love
Mhm.
Memphis, but in order to, she had concerns for my sister and I to really, not follow in statistics or anything like that. So
Right.
she tried to expose us from an education point of view and an opportunities point of view to as much as we possibly could. And so
Yeah.
I'm thankful. Yeah,
Shout
super
out to
thankful for
single
that.
mom. What was her name?
Shout out Claudette, Claudette
Claudette. Come
White
on, Mama Claudette.
Pass. Yeah. Mama Claudette. Yes,
Giving
yes,
you
yes,
some
yes.
love right here now. Now,
Hmm.
CLB 2024 says, good evening, folks. CB in the room. Hello,
Hey,
welcome to
hey,
Must Talk.
welcome
Now,
in, welcome in.
do you know who that is?
I do not know who that is, but hey, I'm
Ah,
glad that you're here.
well, is this your first time on Boss Talk, CB? Go ahead and shout us out and let us know. Another quote that you said is you've got to open yourself up to and what that may look like. Oh, I see. We did a correction there.
Yes,
Perfect.
yes, yes, yes.
All right. So, okay. So now you are here in California. When would you say your first, or was there, I mean, sometimes there is no one big break. What was the thing that made you feel like I am here? I am in the entertainment industry for real, y'all. What was
I
that
love
thing?
this question. I love this question. I auditioned for a commercial in 2018. I auditioned for a commercial in 2018. It was the SoCal Dreamhouse Special Olympics commercial.
Ooh,
And I was the host encouraging people to enter the raffle to, that they could win the dream house, right? That
right, right.
supports the Special Olympics. And I auditioned for the commercial and I knew I put my all into it and I got a call back and I was who they selected to be the host. And the
Wow.
commercial was everywhere. Like I was going into a
Ooh,
local laundromat and like people were like, "Hey, I saw you," and that was the moment where I was like, "Oh my gosh, I think I may have made it."
okay,
And
I'm recognizable, mama.
I'm recognizable, and so like it was such an amazing experience because I learned writing. I learned what it looked like to bring a script to life as a host. And that's something that I've always wanted to do. I absolutely love hosting. I love engaging with other artists and talent and directors and producers. I love all of that. And so
Uh-huh.
I think that beyond anything else, that would be like my dream in life is to make it big in that aspect. But when I tell you, I had another producer reach out to me, and she's actually one of my mentors, Stacy Morgan. Do you know Stacy Morgan? Stacy Evans Morgan?
I
She's
don't
amazing.
I don't think
She's
so.
she's amazing. She's out here in the valley, and she called me. She's a writer, and she said, "I want you to know that they wrote that for you." She said,
Wow.
like hearing the script and everything, and so from that point on, I started paying attention to after you get a call back. Sometimes you get a call back, I don't know where this is gonna land, and I don't know, but the callback is to see like, hey, can you bring this to life? And now, oh well, with your mannerisms and with you've got going
Mhm.
on, we're writing with you in mind, and that's
Yeah,
just more confirmation that God has specific things for you and for your
right.
journey. And so
Mhm.
that's how that's what I love about that whole moment. And yeah,
I
that's
love
that's
that. I love that.
so there's never
No.
really the big break, but there are breaks that make you feel like you're on the right track, and that one definitely
Mhm,
did.
mhm.
Yeah.
The thing too is that, just looking at your resume and all the things that you're doing, you are constantly working in the field, at the craft, doing the craft. And then there are the pieces where you start creating your own things. And that's when
Yes.
also a beautiful thing. What are they saying out there? My husband
Oh.
says, I hope this brother much success.
Oh, thank you so much, Camilla
Absolutely.
Brett.
Oh, CLB, I know her. That's my Black Women's Network sister and board member, Camilla
That's
Blair. She
pleasure
said,
to meet you, Camilla.
yes, she saw the Forge
The
great
Forge. It was a
movie.
great movie. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Billy says, Claudette obviously did an outstanding job raising her children. Absolutely.
I have to
Absolutely.
screenshot that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Send that to
Yeah.
her.
Hi, Auntie. Hello, Nisi Poo. How are you? How are those babies?
I
Thanks
love
for
it.
tuning in, girlie. So I as I was saying, you start to create your own things, and I know that you have worked as an associate producer, and that on September 7th you
Mhm.
had a bit of an exciting night. So tell us about that. That was a screening of your short film called The Divine.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
okay, and
So
so correction to the show notes because I said that the film was called uh,
A Night
what
of
is it?
Hope.
A Night of Hope,
You
but
thought,
that was the
but the
night. That was
That was
called
the
The Night
name
of
of the
Hope.
event.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
So
good, good.
I'll
So
tell you a
tell
little
us
bit about
about
I'll tell you a little bit about the Divine. So the Divine, it was originally, and it still is, a tribute and ode to the TV show, the 90s TV show Touched by an Angel. And
Mm,
so, yeah, and so back in 2018, I had this creative idea to really represent the show to millennials and to Gen Z, my generation, just because I feel like we're in need of non-corny faith-based content, if I could just
yes,
be
indeed. Thank
frank.
you. Said just
And
like that.
so, yeah, Frank, just like that. And so I started drafting up the idea back in 2018. I was like, oh God, like what would it look like to recreate this? And what would my generation find entertaining while we could still drive home the message of faith, hope, and love and
Mm, okay.
redemption and it's so and acceptance and so many different
Mm,
themes, right?
mm,
How do we
mm,
drive this home? And so I just started chewing on it and thinking of it. And one of my old college roommates, his name is director Justin Harrison. He is a short film director, and he's had a lot of success lately doing some short films and in ABFF and a lot of different. He's doing the film festival circuits,
mm.
and I reached out to him and I was like, "Hey, I have an idea. Why don't we try this? Why don't we do this?" And he loved it. He loved the pitch. And his wife, Ariel, that we got together and we wrote the script together. And so we had our script. I had my director, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it looks like I'm producing this thing." And so then, as the producer and head executive producer on the project, I began to raise the finances. And so,
Mhm.
as an artist, it was my first official Kickstarter for film and television, like a film idea. So I got the Kickstarter going, and people loved the concept. We were getting donations from all over all over
Right.
the US, and people like, hey, like we want to see this get made, we want to see this, and all that. So we finally met our goal on Kickstarter,
Mhm.
and then we shot to do production. But of course, COVID hits, right? And
Yes.
so we're trying to navigate what does this look like to shoot during COVID? How many days do we need? And as a producer, you're really adopting, trying to find the right talent. Yeah, that's really the labor,
Right.
right? Is trying to find the
Right.
right talent in all areas, not just cast, but the crew, and
Oh,
and
yeah.
the DP and like all the different parts. And so God blessed us to be able to secure all of that and the talent and shoot it over the course of a couple days. And then we went into the editing journey, which was still a task because the VFX person that we had originally ran off with our money. And so we had to find another. Yeah, it was such
No.
a labor of love. Like it was, I learned so much heading up this project as the producer, and we were able to come up with a full length short of about 7 minutes. And part of the package for people who fundraised and helped put it, produce it to life, is we did a screening. And we say, hey, we're going to have a formal screening, and we'll do a night where people can come, even if you're from all over the US, you can come and see
Mhm.
the film on the big screen. And that's exactly what we did. It was a night of hope, and the reason why we called it a night of hope, the actual screening and not just the screening for the Divine, is I paired it with a concert. I had also released an EP during the pandemic that
Yes.
didn't get a chance to be promoted. So I was like, well, why don't I invite a band, and we represent these songs, and I can promote some of the songs from the EP, and then we'll also have like the screening as well. And it was such a fantastic night. And one of the other major pieces that really helped the night kind of shine bright is we got the blessing from the original creators of Touched by an Angel, of our
Oh,
short.
wow.
Yeah. So they saw it, and and they were like, "Oh my gosh, this is great." And we just got affirmation, from, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, from that the work, it really, that's what it was all about, right? It was just about,
Wow.
hey. Mhm.
I love
So
that. That is
so
so
such
good.
a blessing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was the night of hope. And I can say from that, there is more music coming on the way because it was also a live capture too. So,
Mhm.
if you're not familiar with what a live capture is, for just your viewers that are watching, a live capture is essentially a live recording. So, my music that is available on Spotify and on iTunes, you can go and listen to it. And there's a live album coming next year, and I'm so excited. I'm really excited. There's
That
some
is
more.
amazing.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is amazing. So, who is this here? SD Wallace says, yes, great film. Welcome to Boston.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome,
Now, do you
welcome.
know who that is?
I don't. Not off the top of my dome, I don't.
So are you talking about The Forge, or did you get to see the divine SD Wallace? Tell us who you are. Welcome to Boss Talk. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome.
Well, so and I'm like, everything isn't a divine appointment, but I am a little bit sad that I didn't meet you on the 6th of September instead of on the day.
Yeah. Oh, well, I will send you the film because I
Yes,
would
thank
love your
you.
feedback. Yeah, I would
Mhm.
I try to get as much feedback as you possibly can. And next year I've already got some films, headed up. So like in pre-production. So I'm super excited. And you just apply that feedback to the next go around, right?
Yes. Now, is
Hmm.
the film available for anyone to view, or am I
Yes,
getting a copy?
it's it's actually going to be available the end of this month. So I was really glad
Okay.
when you asked me to join the podcast because I was like, oh, I can tell everyone right here that it'll be available by October 1st, and people
Oh,
will be able to
wonderful.
go and
And
see it.
how
Yeah.
how will they get it?
YouTube, my
You.
YouTube channel, which is
Okay.
official. Yeah, it's official J Blake TV.
Okay. And I have that in the list of things that you sent me, because I think I haven't invited
Yes.
that, so that people will be able to find it and get a chance to see it. Does that I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm gonna get a preview. I'm gonna get a preview.
Yay! Yeah, and I
So,
really
so
do hope
I
you love
heard
it.
you singing, and I was Facebook stalking you, and
Hey.
so did I see this? Was that a part of the concert that's on your page? Um, Worship Flow, hashtag Worship Flow.
That was probably me. That was probably me leading worship at West Angeles.
Is that what that was?
I'm not sure. I post so much, and my hashtag is always worship flow.
Was it
So,
Are you ready? Something like that.
oh yeah, are you ready? That's actually at West Angeles. Yeah, I know that.
Okay.
I know that.
Now, is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
your
yeah.
song?
No, no, that's a cover by Fred Hammond. We were doing that for
Oh,
just
I
praise and
didn't
worship.
know
Yeah,
that. I didn't
yeah,
know
yeah. You
that.
gotta go listen. Did you listen to it? You
I
gotta go
did.
listen to that.
Oh, I listened to it.
She said, "Yeah, I listened to it." Yeah, no,
I
yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah.
I love your
That's
voice.
Fred Hammond. Thank you so much.
Yes. Now let's see. What did SD say? Hey, heard of it from your channel here in ATL.
Ah, nice.
Yes. Welcome to from the ATL. Hey, are you all safe and battened down over there? Because I know there's a big storm going on. He said, Fred Hammond. Yes. Over there.
Mm-hmm.
So our hope that you are nice and safe where you are, and that
Yes.
your family and friends are safe too. I'm actually going to Atlanta in October, the end of October.
You be
Um,
safe.
yeah, yeah.
Don't
It's
want
so,
to blow away.
I know, right? I often think about, like, do I want to move to some other place? And then I just think about the weather here, and it's just so hard to wrap my head around being somewhere else.
I don't know, Sean, Lorray. Listen, I think about that, but I am not sold on the weather in the valley at all.
Oh, because it's
I
hot
th- it's way too hot, and
and
I
then
don't know.
way too
I'm not
cold.
and then way too, yeah, like I'm not sold on the weather in the valley, but I was in LA earlier today and it was just overcast and it was just beautiful. It felt like a season change.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like a change
yeah.
of season. And I love that. If we got the weather that was just over the hill, then I would just be in love and I never want to leave. But it'd be so hot, church. I'd be like,
Well, let me
I
tell you,
can't do
I
this.
don't know what is wrong with me. Maybe I'm connected to my African roots, because when
Yes.
it's that hot, I still don't want to leave. I'm like,
Yeah. Oh wow.
but I'm
I'd
gonna tell
be
you, I grew up in Toledo, Ohio. It was freezing cold, uh,
yes.
and it was hot there, like 80s, 90s humidity. Don't
Hmm.
like that. Don't
Oh
like that.
yeah.
So I prefer the dry heat to the humidity. Although California has been a little bit more humid than it has been in past years, I will say that. But just considering that it was September, it's September 25th and it's 85
Yeah.
degrees. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Listen, because
You
this time
can't
last
beat
year,
that.
I was looking on my Facebook memories this time last year, and it was storming. It was raining.
Here,
Yeah, yeah. In the
you
like,
messing up
you know,
all
they
my
have those
stuff right
memories that
now.
pop up, and I was like, oh wow, it definitely was raining, and this year it's
Yeah.
not. And
Yeah.
so,
Well, the funny thing too is that when I moved here, I had been, it never rains in Southern California, right? And I got
hmm
here, and in 3 weeks, I came here. I changed jobs from New York, the place I was working, French hair designer Frederick Fakai. He opened in Beverly Hills. I moved out here to work there, and I was in contact with the New York store all the time, every day. And I'd be up like, oh, we're out here on the balcony. We're having champagne at work. And on the balcony, overlooking the Hollywood sign in Beverly Hills,
hmm
right? 3 weeks went by, just 3 little weeks. And all of a sudden, I woke up and it was raining and it did not stop for 2 whole months. That was
what?
El Nino, 1997
What?
October. And I was devastated. I was like, what happened? It never rains in Southern California. That already
It's like
never went
I
out the
felt that
window.
boom zone. No, I loved
Exactly.
it when it
Somebody
rained.
told me a lie.
When it rained, what was that? At New Birth. Somebody's from at
Yes,
New
at
Birth.
New Birth NBC.
Love it. Yeah,
Okay.
when it rained, remember like earlier this year, was that this year or last year when it was just raining nonstop? I think it was
I think
earlier
that was
this year.
earlier.
Yeah, and everybody was like, when is it gonna stop? And I was like, keep raining, keep coming. We need it. We need the
We
rain. My
definitely, we,
listen, I have an apple tree, and my apple tree did so well this year.
I
It looked
bet
so good.
the roots are just
It did
moist
well this year and last year because I remember that drought that we were in, and it
woo,
was just brown everywhere and hot.
everywhere. It
And
is
you
so.
don't forget that. You don't
Now,
forget
there's
it.
something too to be said because I have been looking at houses in other states like Georgia, Texas, and it's so lush and so green. And then I was looking
hmm
in California and it's so
And you
brown.
get more for your money. Listen, I told
Yes.
my family, I said, y'all won't have to wait too much longer. I
Now
said,
that's the piece right there, that bang for your buck piece right there.
listen, Nashville's looking real nice.
Okay. I just was talking to some people from Nashville.
I love Nashville.
Do you? I haven't been
Do.
to Nashville. I was in Memphis so long ago. I don't remember much about it. But I know a lot of people are going to Nashville. Let's see. SD is safe so far. I have my emergency pack for
For
no
no
power.
power. That's
Good.
amazing. Yeah.
Say that.
That's
Stay
so
close.
good.
Yes. Oh, hey, cousin Brian, come to Chicago. We
We
have
have
all four
all
seasons.
four seasons. Listen, that's what we
Y'all got
need.
that
All
wind, the windy city, y'all. Hey, cousin, I'm gonna be on the next call, by the way, and I'm gonna put down my family reunion money because I forgot last week, I think, but I'm coming back.
I just came back from my family reunion. It was awesome.
Oh, where was it?
It was in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Oh, that's right. That's where you're from. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
gonna
This
be in.
was the first time in 20 years, 20 some odd. No, it was the first time in a few more than 20 years since it was in Fort Wayne. It's always like down in Mississippi and
Uh-huh,
Natchez area and
uh-huh,
all that.
down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So SD says yes, my hometown, Brian Peterson, Chicago. All right, family in the house.
Hey.
I got to tell you this because you'll love this. So Brian is my cousin that I have never seen in person because
Whoa.
we were connected via DNA. And
What?
and he has done our whole family tree, and I see my grandma and all of that there. And it's so amazing because there are a bunch of us that are going to this family reunion, and many of us have never met. We are just out that we are
Oh.
family. So it's really, really cool.
Yeah,
I'm
it is
excited.
cool. I
Yeah,
went
I'm
to my
really excited.
first I went to my first family reunion as an adult this past July, and it was very very, very, very incredible. Like it was very enlightening. Just the history and
Yeah.
yeah, the history and just kind of seeing how we're related and who's
Mhm.
where you get your singing chops from and you
Yes,
see
all
people
of
that
that.
look just like you and he's like, you got my nose, man, you got my
Yeah,
face,
exactly, exactly.
It's
Yes,
a
I
beautiful
love that.
thing.
I love it. Yeah, we had a cousin who actually, now this is a funny story. So in she was born in, I believe she was born in Las Vegas. Like she'd never met her father, she never met her mother. She was born and was immediately adopted by a white family and,
Mm.
and moved to Canada, to Canada. And then
Wow.
fast forward to DNA, she reaches out to my cousin, my first cousin. And she is my first cousin's niece because her dad had a brother. It was outside of the marriage, but he did have she they did have a little brother that we all got to know. He was killed in Las Vegas. This child was his child, and her mother was Hispanic and put her up for adoption immediately from birth, and she was sent and was raised by a Caucasian family in Canada. She does the DNA and finds out that she is our cousin. So she came here for like a Thanksgiving 2 years ago. We all met and went to dinner the day before Thanksgiving, and we had Thanksgiving dinner together. But we were all out together and we took pictures. And it is hilarious that my other cousin, who is a first cousin, and Babette is also our first cousin. Our mom and dads were sisters and brothers. And so my dad, their her Babette's dad and Marquita's mother were all siblings. We took a picture of the four of us. The two were fair skinned, the two were brown skinned, but we you see our smiles and we look alike. It's hilarious. And we're like, yeah,
Wow.
it is so funny that so it's really an exciting time for the family to kind of get to
Yeah.
think about all these nuances. There's a lot of stuff that was
Yes.
going on back in the day.
Lot. A lot. Yeah.
Yes. Brian says, yes, the other part of North America. Right. Okay.
Right. Right. The other part. That's so funny.
And Esty says, wow. Well, listen, I have some more questions for you about.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your creative process. So how do you, because I want to stick around with this faith thing because I think that's very important, especially in the entertainment industry, because I believe
Hmm.
that faith is what's going to save that industry, because as you well know, there's so much going on right now that is so
There's a
dark
lot.
and so demonic and so sad and tragic. And
Yeah.
so I think that people like you who have faith as a solid foundation for the work that you do, and while doing the work that you do, are so important for this time, for such a time as this. And I think
Hmm.
that a lot of people get caught up in the idea of the business and they forget about, who brought them to it, who gave them the creativity that they have and the talent, and how to sustain is only with something that is real. And
Hmm.
so, how do you incorporate faith into your creative process as a producer, as a singer, songwriter, even as an actor? Like, what what part does it play, and how do you use it to inspire or create?
I think for me, what I try to do, uh-oh, I lost a little bit of light. I think for me and what I try to do is definitely I try to tap into, scripture says we're made in his likeness and in his image. And so what I try to do is tap into that kingdom, that kingdom DNA of innovation whenever I'm creating. I really like to say, okay, how can I um infect or how can I get in this from a kingdom perspective to where the outcome is hope, and how can I highlight that, and what's a creative way to tell this story. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, but there are so many cool things in technology, and there's so many useful tools in technology and in the business itself that you can use to really help articulate from an artistic point of view what you're trying to get across to the consumer. And I think for me, I've just been focusing on like, okay, what's the lens of faith is hope, and you want to be creative just like God is creative. He's given us all a unique path, and he's given us all unique assignments, and all of our stories are unique. We're so layered, especially, and when I say we, I mean even people of color. We're so layered, and we are so not one dimensional. And so I think one of the things that I've been focusing on as a producer is highlighting those layers as well. And then of course you also do have something that unites, the believers, right? Like the source of faith, like to all of my family that are, that are in the Christian faith, and that, we're all believers. So you have that perspective, but then you also have what unites us past all of that is that one, all of our blood is all red, right? And
Come on
we
now.
all, yeah, and we all experience hurt, we all experience pain, we all are looking for some source of hope, some, some beacon, of light. And so mine is my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And so I'm not ashamed of that at all.
Amen.
So,
That's
but I
right.
try to, whenever I'm working on projects, I try to look for that. And if it's not there, what does that look like to interject and to innovate around that story? And that's why you go into sometimes creating your own, and
Yeah.
and what that looks like, so that way you can inspire people, Sean. You can inspire people to move from faith to faith and hope to hope. That's really what it's all about for me, is how can I get you to put
Mm.
one foot in front of the other to keep believing. That's what it's about for me.
Mm. Wow. Thank you. That was so rich. Thank you so much. I appreciate every bit of what you said. And that is such a good, in fact, that is the nugget. That is the nugget that I want to invite and encourage my boss talkers to take away from this tonight, the foundational pieces of faith and how to live and work by those same principles at all times, and putting it back into everything that you do with the messaging that it is here for you too. I love that so much. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
that. Was
absolutely.
beautiful. So now we're getting really close to that time.
Is
Uh,
it time already? Oh
it's
my
almost
gosh, it's
time.
time already. Oh my
And
gosh.
I want to apologize to my boss talkers because I don't know, I must have been on like brain freeze because I started my show without my theme song tonight. And I am like, I don't know what in the world is wrong with me. So we will go out with that.
We're
But
gonna go out with the theme
we're
song.
going
Let's
out with
go.
that. But I just want to thank you, and thank you so much for being on tonight. Now, we're going to put in the chat where people can connect with you. But can
Yes.
you give us your YouTube? Let's see. Who is that? Let's see.
Yes.
You are from Pastor Blake's church, not New Birth, my bad.
Yes. Yes. From West Angeles.
West
Absolutely.
Angeles, right, right.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes. So, yeah, can you put your YouTube in there?
Yes. Give me one
You see the
second. I
private
think.
chat?
Yeah. I think it wants me to.
Is it
Um.
official
y-
J Blake? What is it?
Yeah. Official J Blake TV. Hold on. Official. Um.
Hey, Melanie. We were just talking about the night that we spent with you Thanksgiving on your beautiful yacht 2 years ago. Was that two or is it three now? Oh my gosh, time is flying. It's going to be three this one. Yes. Thanks for tuning in. Nice to see you.
There you
So
go.
we're going to put that up, but I just cannot thank you enough. You all, we're going to put that YouTube in there so that you can go after the 1st of October and view the short film, The Divine by J. Blake White. And then all of his other information is coming
Yeah.
to you right now.
Please, please, please connect with me, everyone. It would be great to hear from you if you guys happen to watch this live stream. Even if you're watching the playback, please come find me. Let me know what you took away from this interview, and hopefully, I said something that'll inspire you.
Absolutely. It was beautiful. Good, good stuff. I love it all. There we go. Wait. There it is. All right. So that's where you can connect with Jay Blake White. Y'all, all his info is there. And we just want to thank you once again for tuning in to Boss Talk, because we know you could have been anywhere, but we thank you for being here with us. Y'all know what to do. Live loved and shalom, y'all. Now, party out with me to my theme song. Shout out to Wayne Lindsay and his beautiful daughter, Alana Lindsay, who is on tour with Anderson .Paak and their amazing group, God.
Ooh, they were just here the other day.
Yes, they were at the Hollywood
Yeah,
Bowl.
at the Hollywood Bowl. Oh my
That's
God.
right. So shout out to Alana and Elena. Alana and Ilana. I can't, their names are very close, but they make up and represent the group GAWD, GAWD, and that is Good Ass Women Deserve. So there you have it, y'all. And please, here we go. Peace, y'all.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so